Welcome to this week's edition of Extra Points. I'm Al Lorenzen, joining you each and every week on our journey into mediocrity. I'm joined by Mark Hansen, fellow co-host, former Des Moines Register columnist, and Miami of Ohio tennis star. I love the fact that you had a two-fisted backhand.
I did not have, and that's ancient history. And anyway, it's been a long time since I.
So you were fit enough to maintain a one-fisted backhand and get away with it.
Oh yeah. You got us. Yeah. In those days, they hadn't even invented the two-hander.
Did you have the old gut strings, or was
the gut
it what,
strings? Well, yeah.
Was it cat gut? What did they use in those days?
Well, they called it. They didn't call it cat gut, and then they started using synthetic gut, and I'm sure everyone's all excited about this. So let's move on.
This week's show, we're joined by Peter Jock and West Des Moines Valley basketball star, but we want to unpack a little bit and get to know Peter a little bit in a more personal way. We'll obviously talk about all the things he really doesn't like about Coach Horner and all the things that he's going to do better than the current folks on the Hawkeye team. I'm kidding, Peter, but we'll dig in. We'll dig in a little bit and get to know Peter, get to know his take on high school basketball and the recruiting process, and certainly how he became a Hawkeye. We'll do all that and talk a little bit of wrestling when we come back after these breaks.
You remember all those fad diets like the grapefruit or the cabbage soup? Those diets promised the weight would magically disappear. None of them were long-term solutions. What will work is a sensible diet and exercise. Well, you'll need a plan, commitment, and professional support. That's what the Y does best. They have the finest facilities and equipment and a professional staff trained to help you succeed. If you and your family are serious about living an active, healthier lifestyle, why wait? Join the Y today and let tomorrow be the start of a healthier you.
Hiring decisions are extremely important for the success of any organization.
At Palmer Group, we place top talent with hundreds of Central Iowa companies each year.
Palmer Group can be your solution, whether you're looking for temporary staff, contract professionals, or a full-time team member.
We've built our reputation on placing quality people with the area's finest employers.
Palmer Group, Central Iowa's employment solution since 1998.
Welcome back to Extra Points. We're glad you joined us this week, and we're excited to have Peter Jock of West Des Moines Valley and Iowa Hawkeye fame, I guess, on the set with us. Peter, thanks for coming on with us, and we appreciate you very much taking the time to be with us.
You're welcome, no problem.
You know, when obviously everybody knows you as a basketball player, and when you get to be my age and your hair turns gray and you're carrying a few extra pounds, you say, you know, there's a little bit more going on than basketball in my world, and like to get to know you a little bit and tell us when you came to the United States, and if you can, share a little bit about your journey and how you came to be a basketball player.
We came here in '03. I didn't really like basketball when I first came here because I was a soccer player. So my big brother always played basketball, so he would always go to the park and go to the Y, and he wanted me to go with him, but I didn't really want to. And then by fourth grade in Greenwood, that's when we had a school team, and one of my friends, I always hung out with him, played in the team. So when he's playing, I didn't have anybody to hang out with, so he wanted me to play with him, so I went with him. And then Mike Nixon, he had an AAU team, he came and watch us play, and then he talked to my mom about playing basketball, and then that's when it started.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Well, I saw you as a kid. I think you probably were in 7th or 8th grade playing on. I think it was Mike's. Was it your team? I believe it was Mike's team, and you were playing center, I think.
Yeah.
And you were still you were probably around 6'2" or so, 6'3", and so how did you get to be such a good guard prospect?
Oh, well, Mike always took me to the gym, and then we work on my handles and shooting abilities, and so that's when I started.
So pretend we're alone in the studio. Is Mike a good coach?
Yes.
Oh, come on now. You can tell us the truth.
Yeah, I think the best coach I had.
What was it about the way Mike coached you? Because obviously it worked. I mean, obviously what he was teaching, you were learning. What was it about his approach or what he taught you and how he taught you that helped you?
We just worked on my weaknesses. So whatever I didn't do good, that's when we went to the gym, and then we just kept working until I got better in that. And we had a pretty good relationship. So
when there's a certain amount of passion, you don't just show up and work just to show up and work. And so young people today, that's one of the things that it's interesting for me to look at you can tell when somebody has a passion for a sport because they don't mind putting forth the effort. Is that the way it unfolded for you?
Yeah, pretty much. I love the basketball. I mean, like, I didn't really like it first time, but then when I started playing, I was getting better and better. It was fun. So.
Well, you had a lot of when you came here to a new country, basically, and you had to learn how to play basketball. But I'm sure there were some other things that you had to learn. And what was easy for you, and what was tough about the transition?
Adjusting to the winter. I'm not.
I still haven't learned to adjust to the winter. So
Yeah, I don't really like the cold, and so it was hard because I would get sick easy and stuff. But then.
So you committed to Iowa.
Yeah, you can say that. And then friends, and then I had to adjust from speaking British English to like American English. So.
Can you still go back and forth?
No.
No, it's completely, the British English is completely
It's gone. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'd have you share a little bit with us, but that's okay. When you obviously the flip side of that is during your career now you came up, you played a lot of club AAU basketball, school basketball, and then you've landed at West Des Moines Valley now. Talk a little bit about Jeff Horner and that process. Again, you're moved schools. That's not something that's easy to do sometimes. Talk a little bit about that and how it's working out, because you're obviously having a great season.
Well, when I went to the Valley, well, Jeff he went to Iowa, and he'd been through everything I've been through, so he helped me a lot, and we would work on what I need to work on and what will get me ready for the next level, because he's been through all that, so he always give me advice and stuff.
How did you decide on going to Iowa? What was your decision like? Who else did you look at and talk to?
Oh, I talked to Mike, my brother, Jeff, Coach Horner, and I mean, like, I decided to go to Iowa because they always been there before the injury, during injury, and after injury. So they've always been loyal to me, and I know some of the players up there, and we get along. So
talk about that, because you go through a pretty significant, pretty serious injury. You come back, and it takes time. Many of us that have ever been through that know it takes time. That had to be a real challenge for you, and just having the perseverance to keep going had to be a challenge.
Yeah, it was. I came back too early last season, and then going through that, and I wasn't playing as good as I should be. So the whole summer, I took the whole spring off to work on getting back, and then now I'm back. So.
And hardest part about coming back? Conditioning? Was it the mental part? Was it just getting back in rhythm? What was the toughest part about coming back?
I think it was the mental part. My therapist always told me it was all mentally, so I think that's the most.
It looks like catching Iowa, the Hawkeyes at a good time. I mean, they're rebuilding, and it looks like they're getting better and better under McCaffrey. Where do you see yourself fitting in there?
I mean, shooting. I think I shoot pretty good, and they need shooters in Iowa right now.
That's an understatement. You can't say that, but I can.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I would fit in, be a shooter down there.
I think some people have compared you with Devin Marble, that type of player. Maybe, I don't know if you handle it well, though, from what I can gather. Is that the kind of role you want to step in and play?
I mean, whatever role Coach McCaffrey wants me to do.
Yeah, well, you've been well taught. Coach Horner and Coach Nixon, Mike, you certainly know what to say. Now, when we come back after this break, we'd like to talk to you a little bit more about this high school season. You guys obviously I'm sure, are focused on the upcoming tournament and doing well there, and we'd love to have you stick around.
Okay, sounds good.
Are you tired of losing the lives and productivity of your employees and their families to diabetes, cancer, heart attack, and stroke? Not to mention the destruction that these and other chronic diseases cause. In an effort to help, we are proud to introduce the newest member of the Holmes-Murphy family, Dr. Mike Abelasili. Dr. Mike is Family Physician of the Year in 2010 and has a passionate and proven track record for saving lives and preventing disease.
If you truly want your employees and their families to have better lives, you need to call Holmes-Murphy.
One of our best kept secrets here at Gilchrist Jewett is our huge floor covering department. We offer anything from wood to laminate, ceramic tile, and some of the best carpeting in town. We have unique styles that you may not see anywhere else. New floor covering is a simple way to make a dramatic statement in your home. From selection to installation, no one does it better. If you haven't seen our showroom, we invite you to stop by and say hello.
the Gilchrist Jewett Idea Center, where your home building and remodeling ideas begin at the corner of University Avenue and Ellis's Road in Waukee.
Welcome back to Extra Points. I'm Al Lorenzen, and co-hosting with this week is Mark Hansen. And Mark, we're co-hosting this week because Casey's gone. Evidently, there was a moose shortage. Maybe there was a moose boycott or something. Casey couldn't get his hair right, isn't here with us, and so we're going to have to muddle through. And Peter, you are forced to deal with us because Casey isn't here, and he's having it's safe to say, a bad hair day.
Okay.
Jumping back into things, we talked a little bit about how you got here, how you started playing basketball in the last segment, and a little bit about your commitment. Talk about this season and what it's been to finally be back healthy. You've had some great games, and we talked about some big numbers and those things, but tell us a little bit about this season and what the expectations are for the team.
This season been really good because I'm finally feeling way better, and I'm starting to do what I used to do. And we're starting to play better as a team now, so we expect to go to state, and we just got to keep playing as a team. So,
who do you like in your sub-state? Who's going to be the tough competition for you?
I mean, I think every team will be. We just got to come play every game.
Yeah, he's got pros teaching him how to handle the media, Hanson. You're not going to get him to,
You've already been at Iowa, you sound.
He's not going to say, hey, we're going to smoke Roosevelt and Johnston and Ames and anybody that we play. But Peter, I do want you to tell Coach Horner that if you don't make it to state, if you're not playing in Wells Fargo, it's all his fault.
Okay.
Will you do that for us?
I will.
You can tell him I said it.
Okay.
when you talk about the pressure that goes along with sports, and none of us that have ever played want to admit, we don't feel the pressure. But you came back from injury last year. This year there's a lot of expectations. You got your commitment out of the way early, but talk about the pressure once you do commit to Iowa here locally. Then you got a big target on you.
Man, there's a lot of Iowa fans out here, so they always show me love. They come to our games and always tweet at me and stuff. So, but then there's the Iowa State fans who are always talking, but it's okay because I don't really pay attention to that.
Well, luckily, when the Iowa State fans talk, they usually use really short, one-syllable words, so they're pretty easy to understand.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a good thing Casey's not here to hear that, but that's all right. Your coach, Jeff Horner, he had a great career at Iowa. And usually someone like that can help out a high school player like you. How has he helped you?
He just tell me what he's been through and how to handle all the stuff that I'm going through right now, because he says he's been through all that. So, and he always give me advice on what to do and what not to do.
Does he talk to you about, you're really open as soon as you cross half court? Because that was kind of his philosophy, was as soon as he crossed half court, if he had the ball, it was going up.
Well, he just say, just play your game. And I like to play as a team, but then if I have to, I'll take over. But he tell me just play your game.
You're a better shooter than he is, though, aren't you?
No comment.
Do you guys ever do free throw contests, 3-point contests, and who wins and who loses?
Well, we played.
This is stuff the people out there want to know, Peter.
We played a couple pigs and horse games, and we went even. So
you're an I tell you what, if the basketball thing doesn't work out, there's a career for you as a diplomat.
Oh, sounds good.
You can post him up, though.
Oh, yeah. We never play one-on-one. He's not a one-on-one guy, he said. But.
It's called age. I wouldn't play one-on-one either. Peter, when you look at this, we're talking about basketball. We're talking about a lot of those things. What do you want to study? And I know that you've got great people around you in your life, and they're trying to help you become the best basketball player you can be, but they're also probably saying, hey, there's going to be life after basketball, and tell me what Peter's got in mind for that.
Oh, well, right now I want to study business just because of Mike. I see how he does his work and stuff, and I like it. So.
Yeah, Mike is a role model, unlike myself and unlike Mark. Mike is at least somebody that coached you well and certainly has succeeded in the business world, so you're probably wise there.
Yeah.
Are you interested in finance, or are you interested in what would you like to do when you get out?
I just want to be a businessman. So.
Yeah. Nothing really specifically right
now. After a 10-year career in the NBA, and yeah, absolutely. When you talk about some